What's up, everyone? How are you guys doing? How's everyone doing? So, I am using the new streaming software right now. So probably gonna have to work out a few things here, like audio, like the audio levels, volume levels. So bear with me throughout this stream, but yeah. Here, let's check the delay here. All right, so the delay is pretty good actually. All right, so let me know if the audio is fine. Let me know if the music's too loud, if my voice is too loud. Let me know, guys. Let me know. I did start the stream a little bit early, so just to kind of get some of this stuff going, but yeah, we'll get started in a minute or two. You guys can hear the music, right? Because you guys should be able to. Yeah, so we'll get started in a minute or two. How's everyone doing? Voice seems really low. Okay, so just a warning. I'm going to turn up my audio. Okay, so just mic it loud. All right, so I'm turning it up. All right, let me know if that's better. Is that better? Or is that worse? A little better. Okay. Interesting. All right. How about that? Is that better? How's everyone else's audio? Can you guys hear me fine, or is it too low? I am using the new streaming software. So okay, you guys can hear us good? Okay. So there's a few different things. Music's perfect too. Okay, awesome, nice. Yeah, so the quality should be better. If the quality is not better, go to your YouTube settings. You can change the settings in there. Yeah, let me know if the music is too loud, too low, voice is too loud. Like let me know about the audio, because this is the new streaming software. So I do want to see if I want to see what the audio is like. But yeah. This is a little test stream. So there are a few, there might be a few little things here and there, but yeah, let's get started with the stream. So today was a pretty solid day for us in the during the New York stream. Pretty solid day. So we had a trade on ES, A+ trade. So surprising throughout all this chop, right? But we had a really nice trade, and it was this right here. So we had this long setup right here. So we had SMT, 5-minute for value gap, 1-minute inversion, rode it up to new day opening gap, right? Simple as that. Very easy trade. Yeah. So today during Asia, let's go see what we got. Let's go see what we got going on during Asia. Actually, let's go to the daily real quick. Yeah, so for all the new people joining, you know, this is the new streaming software. So if my audio, if the music's too loud, too low, if my voice is too low, like just let me know in chat, so I can adjust it. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, let's go draw our levels real quick. So we have yesterday's high right here. Yesterday's low right there. And then we have that weekly gap, right? We got that weekly gap. What else? Let's drop down to the 1 hour. Yeah, so we got the 1 hour for value gap. Can delete that. All right, we'll delete that. All right, so we have this 1 hour gap right here. So we got this 1 hour gap right here. So you can see we kind of ran through it, but then we closed above the CE. You know, all these candles have closed above the CE of this 1 hour gap, right? So let's go draw that right there and drop down to the 15-minute. So this is, you know, like this is looking bullish. This is looking bullish to me. Yeah, this is looking bullish. Do have this 1 hour gap up here. So here's kind of the tricky thing. You know, so we have that 1 hour gap, but then we have this 1 hour gap right here, right? So that, you know, that is a little bit tricky. Let's drop down to the 5 minutes. Oh, by the way, so everyone that was on the stream last night, the reason why it ended randomly was because my power went out for like 2 hours. So power went out, so that's why the stream just randomly ended. If you were in the Discord, you probably, you know, I sent a message in there. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think of the new setup. Is the quality better? You guys like the music, audio better? Yeah, so I like this right here. I like this look. I like this look right here. You know, going up into this 1 hour gap right here. So, you know, if we can inverse this gap right here, if this gap does get inversed, then I could definitely see us going to yesterday's high. That would be nice. Yeah. So that's a 5 minute. Yeah. You know, I want us to inverse this gap right here. Check the hourly again real quick. All right. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so the trade from earlier today was pretty solid. Caught a nice long right there. I did take ES. I took ES. I've kind of been liking ES recently a little bit. I'll trade, you know, I'll trade both tickers, whichever one looks better to me. But yeah, so right now just waiting, just chilling, waiting for setup. Here's my entry model, if you guys want to know. It's right there. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button. I'm fairly new to streaming Asia. I think this is my 3rd or 4th week streaming Asia session. So, hey Ryan, what's up? What's up? Victor says, do you trade GC or most? I trade NQ and ES. That's all I trade. I don't think I've ever traded GC. No, I've never traded GC. So, would you mind explaining my model? Yeah, so my model, it's right here. So it's a liquidity sweep and or high time for value gap, low time frame inversion, SMT bonus. So I don't need SMT. It's just a bonus. Market structure shift. It's also a bonus. So, you know, great example of this is this right here, this trade from this morning. You know, we're taking out this low right here, So a little liquidity sweep, nothing major. We have a higher time frame for value gap, which we're pulling back into, which is this 5-minute gap. We have a 1-minute inversion right here. Targeted new day opening gap. That's it. So, but yeah, it's up there if you want to take a look at it. But yeah, let's go back to a 5-minute chart. Yeah, so what I'm wanting to see here is I'm wanting to see us inverse this gap, this 1 hour gap. And you can see price did reject here, right? So far we're staying below. Price cannot break above that CE of this 1 hour gap, right? So far price cannot break above it. So I want to see price break above that gap. If we can break above that gap, because I do like the look of this kind of right here. So if we do inverse this, I could we'll probably see yesterday's high, or I guess today's high. So that's what I'm looking for. I want to just inverse that and then run for those highs. So for example, something that I would look is, okay, we start inversing this, right? Let's say we get a 5-minute gap right here. Let's say we get a 5-minute gap right there. I'm wanting price to pull back into that gap, and then I want to see a 1-minute inversion inside of that, like that. And then I would kind of frame my trade something like this. That's kind of how I would do it. So yeah. See, Victor says, for morning trade, if the 5-minute bullish for value gap is in 15-minute bearish FVG, will you still trade it? Was it? Oh, was it in a 15-minute? I don't think it was. Let's take a look. So you said 15-minute. If it's, let's see, for morning trade, if the 5-minute bullish for value gap is in 15-minute bearish FVG, yeah, no, I know what you mean. I mean, like most of the time, you want to have time frame alignment. You kind of want it all to go with you. So okay, so you're talking about right now is 5-minute. Yeah, no, I mean, like, just you just got to look at like at kind of all your main time frames that you use, and then just kind of form an opinion, right? I mean, ideally you want all time frames to kind of be in alignment. It's called time frame alignment. You don't want contradicting time frames. But if like in some scenarios, you can take it. So like for example, right? Like I don't really want to long in here, right? Like, even though I am bullish, I want to wait for that confirmation for us to get out here. So like I don't want to long right here, even if we do get like a lower time frame inversion, just because we're in this 1 hour gap. I want to see us inverse this first, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah. So far price has stayed below this CE. So we want to see this. We do have a nice buy sequence right here. So we want to see this continue. We definitely want to see that continue here. So let's check ES real quick. Oops. Let's check ES. Okay, so ES, You know, ES is kind of already pushing up here. Okay. Yeah. All right. How many points? Yeah, it's about 40. Okay. Drop down to the 1 minute. So, you know, recently the market has been tougher. You know, it's been tougher to trade. It's been more tricky to trade. So, you know, you really got to be patient. You really, really, really got to be patient with this market conditions or these current market conditions. Just wait for your setup, take your setup, get out. Like I feel like the draw has been really easy, but the tough part has been getting in. Is my voice, is it how's the audio of my voice compared to the music? All right, you know, I just want to make sure it's all it's good. Okay, cool. All right. So we still have this nice buy sequence through here. You know, still grinding up pretty nicely. We are respecting this right here. Sounds good. Voice has been on the quieter side. Had to crank up to here. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's weird. So I am using a new streaming platform right now. So that's why I'm asking. I'm trying to get used to it. Some people say that it's good, and some people say it's very low. So, okay, I'll test some stuff over the weekend. But thanks for the input. So we are respecting bullish PD raise. That's what I'm using, Ghost. That's what I'm using. So we are respecting our bullish PD raise right here. You can see tapped into it, ripped off, tapped into it, ripped off, right? So I mean, you know, we are still below this 1 hour CE. I'm wanting us to get above this. I'm wanting us to get above this for me to take a trade. Because at any time, you know, we could just come over here, take out this high right here, and just, you know, pull back down. So I do want us to come up here. But yeah. Let's see if ES has that 1 hour gap. Looks completely different. looks so different. So, you know, NQ is obviously lagging here. Or I mean I guess ES just doesn't want to do anything. You know, that's also an option too. Or yeah. But yeah, so you know, since Monday, I have been bullish. You know, since we opened on Sunday, I have been bullish to this weekly gap. We are inside the weekly gap now, so we're up, you know, 1,100 points. Sunday night, once we opened up past this gap, I was like, all right, you know, nothing's really stopping us till here. So. What's the ATR like over here? About 5 points. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I like this right here. So on the 15-minute, you can see this right here. Right, we had this leg. Pretty much. Okay, so we came down into discount. Right, and we had this nice buy sequence back up here. Just immediately inverse that, and with that, we left that wick. So all these candles closed above the CE of the 1 hour. So that's, I think tomorrow we push for this CE of the weekly. That's, unless if overnight we just start flipping down and we inverse this gap. If, if I wake up tomorrow and this gap's inversed and we're down here, yeah, we might look for, today's low here. But if we do inverse as 1 hour, I think we push to CE. So we'll see. ES loves to make equal highs. I mean, this is triple highs right here. Well, I guess triple equal highs instead of double. So that, that'll probably get hit. Let's go to the 5. Do we have anything on the 5? No gaps on the 5. Just this little tiny 5-minute right here. ES, yeah, ES not really. Yeah, so a pretty solid AM stream. Pretty solid AM stream right here. We had a pretty good exit too, right at that new day opening gap. So for the bulls, the bulls want us to stay above these 1-minute gaps, right? So we just want to see a nice consistent buy sequence through this gap to inverse. At that point, we could look for longs up here. I mean, I guess you could look for longs inside the 1 hour gap, but that's too risky for me. That, I mean, we haven't even broken above the CE. So at any time, this thing could just slam down. Maybe price wants to, take out this first and then inverse, right? Who knows? So I'm kind of waiting for that. So for all the new viewers here, I do stream live in the morning in Discord for free. It's all free, and the Discord link for that is in the description below. If you want to join the Discord. I usually do New York AM in Discord, then I do YouTube during Asia. So we do have a little 1-minute gap right here that we are about to inverse. Right here, there's a 1-minute gap. So far, price is holding it. See, do you see price ever go down to touch last month's low? Did price ever touch last month's? Oh, will I ever see? I know, I think this is the bottom. I think this is the bottom of this move. I kind of thought this was the bottom at the close of last month. I mean, earlier than that, but yeah. So not anytime soon. You know, I would honestly be kind of shocked, especially if we still have 14 days, but especially if in 14 days, if we do inverse this monthly gap right here, if we do inverse this monthly gap, like, yeah, like I would be pretty confident in taking out these highs. So bulls want to see this 1 minute gap inverse. So far, we have not done that. We've kind of slowed down a little bit here, right? Coming back into this 1 minute gap. See what happens here. Do we have a 5 minute gap? No. I mean, we do have that little one down there. Price might want to go back in there. 15 minute gap. Yes, we do have a 15 minute gap. So 15 minute gap right there. If you guys haven't noticed, I base pretty much, I would say about 80% of my trading around fair value gaps. So makes the most sense to me. All right, so price is coming back down into that 1 minute gap. See what happens here. Okay. You know, just patience right now. Just patience. You know, don't really want to just force a trade. Just take a trade. Just chilling. Patience, patience, patience. Let's see if ES. Okay, so we do have some slight SMT. I don't know if it's going to hold. I do not know if it's going to hold, but there's some slight SMT. I don't think it'll hold. I don't think so, but it is right here. Yeah, so it already broke it. So that's what I thought. Let's see if we inverse this 1 minute gap. See if we inverse the 1 minute. You know, like if you are super bullish, an entry would be, okay, you know, we tapped into this gap, took out that low. If we get a nice buy sequence through this, inversing this right here, you could look for something like that. You know, up to that, like up to that CE. So you know, you could look for that. But yeah, I think the safer thing would be to wait till we inverse this 1 hour. If we inverse that 1 hour, then just look for these highs. Just patience, patience, patience. You know, if you don't see your setup, don't trade. Simple as that. So far, we still have this little sell sequence right here. See if the bulls want to step in. If we inverse this gap, we would have I guess we'd have a breaker. Market structure shift, we'd have breaker, a 1 minute inversion. We'll see. Yeah, that would be some bearish action if we inverse this. Just patience right now. Just patience. So I am currently working on a on an ICT indicator, you know, it's the main one that I'm working on. It's really like a tool to help traders kind of spot, like, you know, spot the stuff that, like, for example, like over here, right, on ES, right, I'm working on an indicator. It's not going to tell you to, like, okay, buy here, sell here. It's not going to tell you that, but it's going to help you spot all the important PD arrays and stuff like that. So for example here, like, you know, let's say the indicator drew out like this 5-minute gap. Let's say it told you we had SMT here. Let's say it told you we had a nice little, you know, buy sequence right here inversing this 1-minute gap. You know, it's not going to tell you, you know, just buy here, sell here, but it's going to draw out, you know, very important stuff that you know, that helps traders kind of, you know, spot stuff easily. So I am working on that. Yeah. So we did inverse this 1-minute inversion, this 1-minute gap. We did inverse it, going down to this 15-minute gap down here. If we do get a really nice 1-minute inversion inside this 15-minute gap right here, you know, like let's say we take out this low, inverse here, and we get a nice buy sequence, then we can look for longs for that high. That would be nice. I would like that. I would like that for sure. But so far, this is a pretty nice little sell sequence right here. So pretty nice little sell sequence. Just want to see us kind of take out this low, pull in here, maybe get a, you know, flip, get a buy sequence. That would be nice. That would be really nice. Now, if we do, let's say we do inverse this 15-minute, okay, yeah, then we're probably taking out these lows right here. Let's check ES. Does ES have a 15-minute gap? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Let me draw that real quick. So there's the gap on ES. So we do have some SMT, some bullish SMT with that as well. I want to see us come down a little bit more into this. You know, so we get something like this. We dip down in here, inversion. Probably run it back up to this, you know, this gap right there. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. So far, the closest 1-minute gap is right here. You can see price did pull back into it and reject it. That is a 1-minute gap. The next gap on top of that is this one right here. This gap right here. So I would like us to make another leg down here. That's what I wanted to see. Anyone in any trades here? You guys got any trades planned out? You guys in any trades? You guys shorting, longing? Not yet. This 15-minute gap will be pretty important. You know, if we hold it and move higher, or if we inverse it. Oh, yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice, Victor. I will change this song. There we go. Tamara says, I shorted the top of that thing. Got rejected 3 times, but because we're in a bull market, got out super quick. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so let's let's see what happens here. See if we get something. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. The past few weeks we've been sandwiched between fair value gaps almost constantly. I mean, like whether it's like daily and a weekly, or like 2 1 hours, 2 15 minutes, like we've always been sandwiched between 2 gaps. Thank you, Joel. Thank you. Yeah, patience it's pretty important. It's hard not to get FOMO when you see like price rip into your target, but you don't really have an entry. But you just got to learn. I've just had to learn to just wait for my setup. So price still just sitting on top of this gap right here, wanting it to come down in here, inverse. Or if we do inverse, if we come down here and inverse this, great, right? We'll look for that long. If we inverse the 15-minute gap, just rip through this. Probably look for these lows here. But yeah, it's always really important to have a plan, for what's going to happen. So like, for example, like in this scenario, like we know that, okay, if we come down here and we get a nice buy sequence up with a nice 1-minute inversion, we'll probably look for a long, right? So like we already kind of know what to expect, right? It's not just like when we get there, oh, we're just gonna buy, so I always like to have it planned out. It's like the same thing with the trade that we took earlier today. With this one here, we had it planned out. We said, if we get this inversion, we'll take it. Victor says, I'm taking a long here if there's a buy sequence. Nice, very nice. Yeah, I mean, like, it'll be pretty aggressive if you go for this. It'll be pretty aggressive. I would have liked to see it come down a little bit more. Like this isn't the highest probability area because, we are sandwiched between 2 gaps, right? So we are in this area, we're in this area, yeah, right? So I want us to inverse this. Like if we inverse this like later tonight, like after stream or whatever, and I see like a super nice play, I'll look to take that. That that would be much higher probability in my opinion than this, because right now we're just bouncing. Like, we're in this gap, we could go this gap, right? It's just kind of like that. You know, if we inverse this, that shows us, okay, buyers are in control, we're probably going for that high, right? In here, like, I probably wouldn't go full size. I mean, no, I definitely wouldn't go full size. Not even my regular Asia size, just because it's you know, it's like, yes, you know, we would have a higher time frame gap, we would have a sweep right here, we would have a nice buy sequence and inversion, but like, just zoom out, right? Just zoom out and see where you're at. So that's, you know, Tamara says, tilted, live account, didn't pay some setup close to 300, I lost all my profits today, got liquidated. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's, you know, tilting, like, it's hard, you know, it's, like, you can't just tell someone, like, oh, like, don't go on tilt, right? So like, a lot of it is just experience with going on tilt. You know, like, how many times do you have to touch the stove to know it's hot, right? Say, you know, kind of the same thing with going on tilt, right? How many times do you have to experience blowing up an account until it's like, all right, just stop. Because, like, now, like what I do is, if I get 2 losses in one session, like, I'm done. Like, I just stop there. You know, that usually means, you know, just the probability's not there, right? Delivery's not good, things like that, right? So at that point, just stop. It's completely fine. Nothing you can do about it. Like, if you took A+ setups and you lost, it's, you know, that's completely fine. That's completely fine. You know, you did your job. So, all right, so we are coming down here into that CE of the 15-minute gap. Why is trading so hard? Because, you know, I mean, it's all mental. You know, it's all mental. You know, it's all mental. You know, there's many reasons why trading's hard mentally, right? It's hard to manage a trade. You know, it's hard to not take profit early, right? It's hard to not hold a trade too long. It's hard to not go on tilt. It's hard not to, you know, continue trading after you hit your loss limit. You know, it's the complete opposite of what humans, you know, are like, you know, want to do. All right, so we did come down here. So it looks like we had some accumulation. This could potentially be the manipulation. We have a little 1-minute gap right here. It's tiny, but we have it. I wouldn't take an inversion off this. I would be more inclined to take this long now right here if we do get that. Like, I don't think I would, you know, like, I don't love it just because of our location. If we got this setup, if we got this setup right here in this area, like, yeah, you know, like, I would love that setup. But just because we're here, you know, I'm like, you know, it's like, I don't know. I might just take this on like an eval, honestly. You know, I don't think I want to put on risk just sandwiched between these gaps. So, you know, what we want to see now is we want to see a nice buy sequence through this. You know, I prefer, like, so since right here, I like this better since we made this, because this would be the manipulation leg, and if we do inverse this, we'd have that market structure shift, that 1-minute inversion, right? Probably look for these highs. What's up, Francis? No trades yet. No trades yet. Most of the time I rotate. Most of the time I rotate my accounts. Yeah, so we want to see this continue. We want to see this nice buy sequence through that gap. If we see it, I'll probably take it long. It'll probably look something like this. That's a little bit tight of a stop. I'll probably do something like this right here. Break even would probably be right there. Maybe we'll do that. Break even would probably be right there. And then run it to the high. Something like that, maybe. But yeah, just waiting for price. Waiting for price to do its thing. So do you guys like the new layout? You know, because on the stream I do have the chart like zoomed in a little bit, so it's not like super wide. Because I got like a 34-inch monitor, so. It's not like all scrunched in. Push back down through that gap. Technically it's a BPR. We inverse the BPR. See what happens here. We're really gonna need a nice buy sequence to take that long. If we don't get it, we'll just stay out. You know, I prefer this better once we do inverse this gap. I would honestly want us to like just chop overnight, and then like tomorrow morning, then we inverse like prime time, and then we can look for that long during AM. That would be nice. So here's a 5 minute. So we do have a 5 minute gap here as well, which is pretty much the top of that 1 minute gap. So price doesn't really have that strong buy sequence that we're looking for, at least yet. You know, it could just do this and then lift off, but we'll see. We will see. If we do inverse the 15-minute gap, I mean, like I said, we're just chopping between these two 1 hour fair value gaps. Oops. You know, we're just kind of just between this. So, you know, not the highest probability area. Okay, so let's see. We got 14 minutes left on this 15 minute. So in 13 minutes or 14 minutes, whenever the candle closes, if this is a really, really strong wick and we close all the way back up here above that CE, that would be super, super bullish, and then I'll be more confident in that long. Do I think we're gonna do that? No, but I'm saying that if we do get that strong wick, then yes, that would be bullish. But yeah, so we are inversing, you know. So like I hope you guys saw that. So, you know, we had these gaps drawn, right? And our confirmation was a nice buy sequence. You know, like we did not immediately just enter in this gap, right? We did not immediately just buy. There was no confirmation to buy there. Sellers were still in control. You know, for us to get into the trade, we needed to see buyers step in with a nice buy sequence through that gap, creating a market structure shift as well, right? So that would have been our confirmation. We obviously did not get that, so there's no trade. All right, so price is dumping now. Price is dumping, taking this low out over here. So, okay. All right. Yeah, so, we took out that low. So like I said, on the 50-minute, if, I highly doubt it, but if this is some crazy wick and we close all the way back up here, I would be super bullish. So we are sitting below that low right now. We are sitting below that. We do have two hefty 1 minute gaps. We do have some hefty 1 minute gaps. George said he just blew his account. George. No, George. New York AM lows coming. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, The buyers are going to have to react with a pretty nice buy sequence to inverse that, so. So, price is just ripping down still. Price is ripping down. There's that 1 minute, or sorry, that 15-minute inversion. So far no trades during Asia. That's completely fine. Patience. If I don't see a trade, I don't take it. Simple as that. We also do have this gap right here, this 15-minute gap. So we do have that 15-minute gap that we will also inverse as well. It'll be a double inverse in 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes till the 15-minute candle closes. Let me go back to the 1 hour real quick. Maybe price does want to fill this wick. Maybe this wick, maybe price wants to go there, right? We'll title this wick low. Wick low. We do have some low resistance here that we did not take out, so maybe we want to hit that as well. Yeah, we'll see. I want to see where this closes in 9 minutes. I want to see where we close here. I want to see where price closes. Got 3 minutes till the 5 minute closes. Once that closes, we'll have a pretty big gap right here. So if you are bearish off of this, what you would look for is you would look for a 5 minute gap. You would look for price to pull back into this gap right here. And then you would look for, some type of inversion in there to go for these lows. That's if you are bullish, or sorry, bearish. so just patience right now. Just patience. Do we have any news tomorrow? Do we have any news? Let's see. Yes, we have consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. That's the only red folder news we got, so. Which I don't think consumer sentiment is that crazy, but it'll definitely move it a little bit. Nothing crazy though. So price just consolidating down here. Not sure what it wants to do. Five-minute gap closes in 1 minute. 1 minute for the 5-minute gap. Price just stopped. Just stop moving. This little range is 10 points. Let's see what ES did. Okay, yeah, so ES did the same thing, obviously. ES dropped further, actually. All right. Five minutes left till this candle closes. It looks like it's going to close down here, unless if in the last 5 minutes, it doesn't. So yeah, so we do have this 5-minute gap here. So for for the bears, you would look for this retest, boom, back into that. So we'll see what we get here. Just accumulating down here. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Still going sideways. Not moving at all. I mean, the past 4 minutes, it's in a 5-point range past 4 minutes. So all right, breaking lower, pushing even lower towards the end of this 15-minute. Okay. Maybe. It might want this wick right here. Might want this wick. So we did accumulate here. We did accumulate right here. So this, I mean, this could have been a manipulation leg, We will see. Just to get us back into this gap, and then we can look to, you know, short back down or something. So we'll see. Have you found any liquidity or FEG indicators trading view that are worth it? I just draw mine out. You know, I just draw mine out. But I am working on an indicator that spots that for you. So, you know, just join the Discord if you want to, you know, get notified about that whenever I drop it. So, Discord's free. Link for that's in the description below. But yeah, I am working on one that'll help draw gaps. More than just gaps, but it'll definitely draw gaps. Like, it'll show like the kill zones, session highs and lows, gaps, you know, SMT, like things like that. So, you know, inversions inside high time frame gaps, right? That's going to be that's pretty much my model right here. So I'm kind of building it to help spot this pretty much. So I've been working on it for a while, but yeah. But, you know, like, you can just draw them, you know, like, it's not like you need the indicator. You can just draw it, but it'll be free too anyways, so. So price is just slowly kind of grinded down now. So we do have, let's see, on the 15 minute. On the 15 minute, we do have 25 seconds left. 25 seconds left. So this is definitely going to inverse. This is not going to suck back up here in the next 15 seconds. Not going to happen. So, you know, I can see this right here, right? Do I see an entry? No, I do not see an entry yet. For me to get short, I would have to see a pullback. You know, if price just trickles all the way down here, that's fine. That's completely fine. It could do that. I couldn't care less, right? It can go without me. You know, no FOMO. If we do get our pullback and our entry model, great. You know, if we don't, that's also great. Jocelyn has fun. Jocelyn, do you see your A+ entry model? Like right now? No. Okay, so there you go, right? So you're good. You know? Because what makes you money, right? Does always being in a trade make you money? No, it does not. What makes you money is your entry model and staying out of the trade or staying out of the market when you don't see that model. You know, being in a trade does not make you money. Your entry model makes you money. So, you know, if you were to get into the market right now, right? If you were to get into the market right now without your entry model, that's like jumping out of a plane, you know, without a parachute, right? I mean, like, you know, like you can win. Like if I were to randomly short here, like, yeah, you know, there's a chance I'll win. But in the long run, I'm not winning, right? You know, so you got to just trade your model. Yeah, exactly. You know, without your, you know, A+ setup, You know, like this is just a bunch of random stuff. Like, yeah, you know, like you can have draw liquidity and stuff like that. Like, you know, but the models is what makes you money. That's what keeps you consistent. So. So, you know, like this thing, you know, like this thing can run all the way down here. If it just grinds down, like just like what it's doing right now, if it just keeps just slowly just doing this, like what am I gonna do? Like am I really gonna short? You know, like at the bottom of this? No, because it can pull back here, and then it can give me a real model, a real entry model. Then it'll be like, you know, why did I short down there? There's no reason, right? So. Now, if we do come back here, and then we get a nice sell sequence with the inversion inside, then that's my model, right? So then I'm, you know, then I'm short, right? But if I don't have that, I'm not in. And even then, right? Like even then, you know, let's say I'm in this trade, you know, if I win, great, right? But then if I lose, like I'm not going to get frustrated. Because if you know if that's my A plus setup, like that's it. Like I can't control if this very trade will win, right? You know I can't. It's impossible, right? So there's no reason to get mad about that. You just gotta, you know, like you did good. You know if you traded it and you won, you did good. If you traded it and you lost, you did good, right? There's nothing you can do about it. Digital Sniper says that's what I'm missing: A plus setup or B plus or even C. If there's a pullback to 5-minute for value gap, will you wait? Yes, I will. Yes. If we pull back to this gap, so what I need to get into a short? What I need to get into a short is, okay, we need to pull back into this gap, just like this. We need to see a nice sell sequence start going. We need to see a 1-minute inversion, and then we can short. So, you know, just, you know, all that FOMO that everyone was just feeling, you know, what would have happened if you would have shorted right here? Right? What would have happened? You know, you would be all, you know, you would just, what is this? 13, just instantly 13 points. And then like at this point, you know, like let's say you were to just randomly short there at the bottom, right? Like where are you going to put your stop there? Right? Like maybe above this low resistance of liquidity, but like that's where I really want price to go. Like I don't know if price is going to get there, but I want price to get into this gap. So like that's like that, like you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, you just gotta wait. Wolf says he should have shorted. I mean, you know, yeah, if you saw your setup, then yeah. But if not, then you know you're chilling, then you're good. How do I decide my TP? So you know, if I were short here, you know, TP really varies, right? Let me change the song real quick. So if I were short here, TP would really vary. You know, probably final targets would probably be like here. You know, like I don't think, you know, it's like I don't think I would run it all the way down here. Like if you want to leave like, you know, one contract or something, it's fine. But I usually take most of my position off at kind of like that first like gap that we have. Like either if it's a 1-minute gap or a new day opening gap or something like that. So for example, like today, on today's trade during New York AM session, we took this right here. All right, so we had this 1-minute inversion. If we look left, this is the new day opening gap, right? So that's where price opened up. We had a gap right there, right? So I took profit just, you know, a few ticks below that gap. So stop loss really varies. So I'll stay on for another 5 minutes or so. You know, if we do get that pullback in here, okay, great. If we just keep running down, then I'll, you know, probably hop off. So yeah, hopefully the audio is still good. Hopefully the volume's good. So price is slowly kind of making its way up there. Let's see if we do continue. Yeah, we do have some low resistance right here, low resistance liquidity. Now, here's the thing. So if we do just, you know, run up here, and let's say we just keep doing this, just keep going and going and going, okay, then there's no confirmation, right? So background music is pretty quiet. Voice audio is good. Didn't know there was any. Yeah, so like I don't know. Some people say, you know, some people say that the music is like they can hear it, and some people say they can't hear it. Like I could try to turn it up a little bit, but I don't know if it'll like start blasting it for everyone else. I could try here. Let me turn it up just a tad. So this is just a warning. It might get loud. I do not know. I'm gonna turn it up a tad. Let me know what you guys think. All right, I turned it up just a little bit. Let me know how that is compared to my voice. Ryan says potential 1 minute breaker. Potential 1 minute breaker. I see it. I see your 1 minute breaker. Lows right here. So your breaker high would be pretty much right there. Yeah, I see it. What is a 1 minute breaker? So a 1 minute breaker, it's an ICT PD rate, I guess. So pretty much a bearish breaker is this. Go here, boom, boom. So we're taking out this high. See how we're taking out that high? And we push back through this right here, right? So that right there is pretty much a breaker. And then you would just draw this right here. You pretty much just draw this area. Some people draw like the single candle, you know, but you pretty much just draw the consecutive candles that create that pullback. So this is a bearish breaker. So this would be confirmed once price would close here, right? And then a bullish breaker would be this, boom, take out that low, right? And then this move higher, right? So what, like, why is this powerful? Why is this pattern powerful, right? Because once we start pulling up here, people are getting in longs right here, where are their stops going to be? Their stops are going to be right here at this low, right? So then we're going to take that out with this manipulation leg. Then we're going to push higher. breaking this right here, creating a market structure shift, and then your bullish breaker would be right here, right? So what a lot of people like to do is they like to just enter at the close of this breaker, or price will kind of come back, tap that breaker, and then go higher. But then there's also something, if you want to add on to the breaker, there's something called a unicorn. So the unicorn model, so the unicorn is, let's say price goes up. Let's say we have a fair value gap inside, let's say we have like a 1 minute fair value gap right here, inside this breaker. So this blue box, this darker blues are breaker, this 1 minute, and then this lighter blues are fair value gap. So if we have this right here, this is a unicorn. So we'd pull back into that and then push higher like that, right? Personally, I don't really trade like off breakers. Like I like the inversions. But a lot of my setups, like a lot of my trades, if you go in the Discord and look at my trade recaps, you'll see a lot of my trades actually do have breakers too within them. So it's like inversions, breakers, unicorns, like market structure shifts, right? Those are all just ways to kind of get you into the market, right? So I mean, like, they can all work, whether you're trading inversions or breakers, like it'll all work. It's just like, you don't want to take every single inversion, you don't want to take every single breaker, you want to have stuff going with it. So for example, if you look up here at my entry model, my entry model is not just a low time frame inversion, right? I need a liquidity sweep and or high time frame gap. I need a low time frame inversion, right? Bonus SMT, bonus market structure shift, right? And then also, I kind of need that bias, that target that I'm going towards, right? So hopefully that helped. All right, guys. So we are just kind of chopping around right here. I will kind of be watching it in the background. If we pull back up here, I'll probably, we'll see what happens. I don't know. But I'm gonna go make dinner. So thank you for watching, guys. Apex is 80% off right now. Use code GC Trading. It'll always get you the best discount. Also, Take Profit Trader, 30% off. No activation fee right now. Same code, GC Trading. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the morning in the Discord during the New York stream. If you want to join that, link for that's in the description below. It's also free. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the morning. Adios.